We may have found the New York Giants draft strategy, and some things were expected, and others were definitely not as much. What is going on, guys? What's going on, 27 Squad? Welcome back into another video. We got some bright lighting today. I'm able to make a video during the daytime, so no blue ambiance for you guys today, as a lot of you guys like to see. So that being said, I've come on here today to talk about the Giants leaking their draft strategy. That's right, and I am talking about none other than their top 30 visits. Now, is it out in the open what they really want to do in the draft? Not really, but if you go over Joe Schoen and his draft strategy and kind of pick apart what he likes, what he doesn't like, and sort of his mannerisms and I guess patterns going into the NFL draft, you can sort of get a little bit of an insight of what he wants to do in this draft from this year's top 30 visits. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with top 30 visits, the Giants and every NFL team for that matter, besides the Rams because they feel like they're too good for the draft, they literally don't do top 30 visits, which is insane to me. But teams are allowed to pick up to 30 prospects, and in some cases I've seen just a tad bit over 30, so I don't really know who's counted and who's not. I know there's local visits, there's private workouts, this, that, and the third. Don't really know how exactly they're numbering everything, but sometimes it's less, sometimes a little more than 30, but around 30. 30 of these prospects meet with the New York Giants. They go to the facility. I believe they have their talks with them, sort of things that you would see at like the combine. I'm sure they're like, walking them around the facility, put them on the whiteboard, sort of pick apart the prospect's brain a little bit and see if they're just a fit for their organization. Over the past couple of seasons, Joe Schoen in particular, in his regime with the New York Giants, has utilized the top 30 system and has drafted a bunch of players that he brought in for a top 30 visit. In 2022, it was Evan Neal, Kayvon Thibodeaux, and Cordell Flott. In 2023, it was the top 3 picks in Deonte Banks, JMS, Jalen Hyatt, and also Trey Hawkins, who was a projected like 7th round, 6th round guy at the time. Also, I want to throw in Payne Durham, who I believe was drafted by the Buccaneers somewhere around the 4th or 5th round. The Giants were, apparently they wanted him. They brought him in for a top 30 visit. Apparently they wanted him. The Buccaneers traded up to get him. So I threw him in there because they probably would have drafted him had he been there. And then in 2024, it was just Malik Neighbors and Andrew Phillips. But if you go through the top 30 visits in all of those drafts, we won't do it here because that'll take too much time. If you just go through all the top 30 visits, there were a lot of guys that were in similar positions of what the Giants drafted in that specific round, but obviously they chose the player that they wanted, or maybe there was a case where that player was just taken before they had the opportunity to do so. So they utilized that top 30 system, and they really consider the guys that they brought in for a visit. They really prioritize that, which I love. I love having the best idea possible of what you're bringing into your organization, and assumingly you feel good about them. You brought them in, you feel like they're a good fit, and you draft them. That's how I want a draft philosophy to work. I don't want them just drafting anybody that they don't even know or met with. Now, this year is very, very interesting. We're going to get into a lot of it, but before we do, make sure you guys are hitting that like button. You guys have been blowing up that like button in these past couple of videos, and I am nothing but thankful for that. Absolutely grateful for every single one of you. So make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let's keep going with this video. So before we get into the top 30 visits, we have private workouts. Now, I don't necessarily know, you guys can hit me up in the comments, I don't really know if they're considered part of the top 30. I know they kind of separated out. They have like local visits, they have private workouts, they've got other sort of sub factors or subsections of top 30 visits. I don't know if they all count towards the 30 because the Giants, I think I saw 31 names there, so I don't know which ones are included and not. But the Giants had private workouts with just quarterbacks so far. That's very, very interesting to me. Now, this tells me they got a private workout with Shedeur Sanders, Tyler Shough, right? Tyler Shough, and Jackson Dart, and also Jalen Milroe. Now, Jackson Dart flew all the way under the radar, which I am really interested in. That is very interesting to me because until now, nobody knew that they did any private workouts with anybody yet, but we're just finding out there was 3 of them, right? Shadur, who we're like 2 weeks away from the draft, just under 2 weeks away from the draft, and Shadur Sanders automatically pops up as a private workout. I think it was like JJ McCarthy that went for a private workout all the way in like March 31st when Easter was on March 31st. So that's insane. So we're really close to the draft. They're just now doing private workouts with quarterbacks, which is odd to me. But Shadur Sanders, Tyler Shuck, Jackson Dart, and Jalen Milroe. Check this out. We hear the news about Shadur, Jalen, and Tyler. Right? We hear the news about them that they're going to do private workouts with them. I don't think those have started yet. But news came out, and this was just a rumor, but it's been confirmed by Jordan Renan and even Peter Schrager that they did a private workout with Jackson Dart weeks ago. We're talking before his pro day. So the fact that that didn't make news until all the other private workouts were broken out is very interesting to me. Now, does that mean that they're going to draft Jackson Dart? Not necessarily, but it does kind of pique my interest a little bit how that wasn't talked about a lot. So now that we got the private workouts out the way, let's go into the full top 30. Okay, I found a website that organized it extremely well. Shout out to them, bigblueinteractive.com. Shout out to them. They did a whole updated unofficial, but this is like confirmed by a lot of different people on Twitter of kind of a compilation of all the confirmed names that were scheduled to visit with the New York Giants. Now, there are a couple of names that are not on this list that I have another website we're going to look at, but just a couple. But this is the gist of what the Giants are doing. So we'll start at the top. And we'll start with defensive tackle. You guys know that the Giants have a big need at interior defensive tackle. And we've got Alfred Collins, Darius Alexander, and Joshua Farmer. Now, I'm not going to come out here and give you guys a whole scattering report on all of these guys, because some of them I don't even know about. But I'm not here to give you a gist of them either. But it's I'll tell you like the round that they're projected in. Right, Alfred Collins is like a day 2 guy, definitely a day 2 guy. We're talking 2nd, 3rd round. Darius Alexander, same thing, 2nd or 3rd round. Joshua Farmer is probably the lesser of these guys. He's more like a 3rd round guy. I've very rarely seen him projected as high as a 2nd round pick, but he had a really good combine as well. If you guys watched the combine, so it tells me that the Giants are really seeking that middle of the pack defensive tackle spot where it's very thick on day 2. Like day 1, you got some names in there, right? You got your Derek Harmons, you got your Walter Nolans, you got your Mason Grahams, you got your Kenneth Grants. But it seems like the Giants are looking to go into day 2 and addressing defensive tackle if there's one to their liking there, and obviously at the highest of their board. You look at the edge rushing group. Abdul Carter, we all know my best player in this draft. Shamar Stewart, which is an interesting one. Because I like Shamar Stewart. I really do. He's a freak of nature. Maybe they just were really curious about Shamar Stewart, because they're like, how does a guy that was listed at 290 play like that? Be that explosive off the edge? He's a freak of nature. But Shamar Stewart, that one's interesting to me because I don't see him falling out the first round, and the Giants obviously picked way too high to even consider him with their first pick. So very interesting why they brought him in for a visit. Maybe they think he's going to drop, and should he drop and they don't get an Abdul Carter, maybe they go with a Shamar Stewart. In the second round, maybe at 34. So let's look at the linebackers now. I've told you guys many times I have done little to no work on off-ball linebackers. I have a couple of names that you guys have given me. By the way, guys, if you guys are watching, made it this far in the video, if you guys have some prospects you really want the Giants to get, go leave it in the comments, man. I want to look at it because, guys, there's like 300 prospects in this draft. I'm not going to be able to know about all of them. You guys let me know your favorite prospects in this draft that you want the Giants to get, and I'll keep them in mind, and maybe I'll do watch a couple films of them. So let's move on to cornerback. Oh, by the way, so off-ball linebacker, I don't know where these guys are projected at. I'm thinking day 3. I'm thinking day 3, where I believe we have 2/4 or maybe 1/4 and 2/5, something like that. 1/4 and 2/5 sounds right. And then like 3/7. So there's that. Travis Hunter, Siobhan Revel, and Corey Black. Now, I'm not very familiar with Corey Black. However, I done my my film on Siobhan Revel. I like him a lot. Why are we going after man? Are we going to a man scheme? I would hope we're going into a man scheme, right? We got Paulson Adebo, we have Deonte Banks, right? These are man corners that are in a zone scheme for whatever reason. But Travis Hunter, you could put him anywhere. Travis Hunter is he's just amazing at the corner spot. You could put him anywhere. But Siobhan Revel is, like, I would say more like a man corner. So interesting there. Very interesting. So let's go to safety. I think safety they're just taking a look at. I don't see them being very interested in safety, to be honest with you. This is who they had. We talked about the quarterbacks already. Also, Kyle McCord. Kyle McCord was not brought in for a top 30 visit. Not brought in for a private workout, but for a top 30 visit. I'm thinking it's because it's a local visit, obviously Syracuse. So I like Kyle McCord. I do. Do I want the Giants to draft him? I don't really care. You guys know how I feel about drafting late round quarterbacks. I don't care. The Giants have 3 quarterbacks on the roster right now, and I'm okay with that. Unless you're going to draft a guy that you really think is going to be the future for you, I'm not really interested. Just a quick note, Jackson Dart is not listed on here because this was updated 9:27 a.m. The news broke about Jackson Dart just a couple of hours ago at 7 o'clock while I'm recording this. So, not everybody really knows that Jackson Dart was brought in for a private workout weeks ago, even before his pro day, which is very interesting. Like I said, I don't know. But okay, here is the big sort of bombshell that my mind was blown on, right? You guys know I am my second glorious king, Tyrone Tracy. You guys know my glorious king is Micah McFadden, but my second glorious king, Tyrone Tracy, he had an amazing year. The Giants seem like they love him. The fan base loves him. We love his story, his rise to the NFL. But I always said the Giants, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for them to upgrade the running back spot. Because even as a big fan of Tyrone Tracy, I don't think he's a feature back. I don't think he's a guy that you have your running back position filled with one guy. Definitely not Tyrone Tracy's sort of thing, right? You could definitely pair him up with somebody better than him and have him be more of a complimentary back, and I would love that. But the Giants are going above and beyond. Check out these names: Amarian Hampton, Quinshawn Judkins, Cam Scatterbo, Caleb Johnson, right? And Ali Gordon was once a first-round prospect. He's more like a day 3 guy for whatever reason. Now, I don't really know why. I haven't done any work on Ali Gordon, but I know about all 4 of these running backs, and I would be ecstatic. You guys know running back's my favorite position. You guys know how I feel about stacking up the running back room, right? Like 2015 or something like that, or to like 2019, like the running back position nobody cared about, but now they're making their resurgence, and now the Giants are heavily considering running back. That is the big bombshell for me. I really think the Giants are going to go BPA at number 3, and I don't know if they'll go. It's going to be in competition between that and defensive tackles, in my honest opinion. That and defensive tackles are really going to be considered on day 2. Now, quarterbacks in day 2, I'm not really quite sure about. I think they're just trying out these guys. They're seeing if if they're missing out on anything good at quarterback. But bringing these guys in for a private workout this late into the draft process tells me that they're not really looking for quarterback this year, to be honest with you. They're really doing their work really late on these guys. But the fact that they got Amari Hampton, Quinshawn Judkins, Cam Scatterbo, and Caleb Johnson, these guys are definite day 2 guys. All these guys will be gone on day 2. Amari Hampton is running back 2 on my board. He can go as high as the Dallas freaking Cowboys. Some people had him going number 10 to the Chicago Bears. A lot of people believe that Amari Hampton is going to be like the Jahmyr Gibbs of this draft, where everybody says he is a lock day 2 guy, may slip into the end of the first round, but like Jahmyr Gibbs was drafted like 12th overall by the Lions, and everybody thought that was absolutely nuts. Amari Hampton may be that type of player this year, so who knows? But if he slips into the second round, I think the Giants take him, because Amari Hampton, because he plays the running back position, so obviously positional value kind of knocks him a little bit. But if we're talking BPA, I would be willing to put my left testicle that Amari Hampton, if he's there, no matter how the board looks, that he is going to be the best player available, in my honest opinion. I have him as a mid-first round grade, but we know that running backs always get pushed down the boards because of their position, right? Amari Hampton would for sure be the best player on the board. He's a home run threat. This guy is definitely a feature back, and bringing him in with Tyrone Tracy, and you could kind of wane off of Devin Singletary, is amazing. I love me some Quinshawn Judkins. Cam Scatterbo is like the blue collar worker of the running backs in this draft group, and Caleb Johnson is an absolute monster as well. So I love this. I absolutely love this. I'm going way too much about running backs right now, but this was the thing that shocked me the most about the Giants' top 30 visits, is how much they are really focusing on the running back position on day 2. These aren't day 3 guys, right? This is not like a Tyrone Tracy sort of pick. This is not like an Eric Gray sort of pick. This is their position. This is like players at a position that can be starters for you for a long time, like definite feature back starters. So that's very interesting to me. All right, so let's go to the last couple of picks here. Savion Williams out of TCU, big-bodied guy, can move pretty quick on his feet. Elijah Arroyo, I loved watching Elijah Arroyo, working with Cam Ward. He's kind of a guy that's going under the radar. It's very interesting because his name is mostly known because of Cam Ward, but I feel like if Cam Ward didn't play for Miami, nobody would know about Elijah Arroyo, and he's pretty damn good in my honest opinion. He's underrated, but a lot of people know his name because he played with Cam Ward. He's one of his favorite weapons. Now, this is what I'm excited about as well. Marcus, I don't know how to say it. I think it's just Marcus Bowe, and the M is silent. But Marcus Bowe is a guy that's pretty interesting. Very, sleek, slender. Looks like a very athletic tackle, in my opinion. And Donovan Jackson. I love Donovan Jackson. It would be, honestly, as I'm hearing more and more that Darius Alexander might be a third-round guy, and on top of that, you could probably get Alfred Collins, Joshua Farmer in the third round. I would be willing to miss out on Darius Alexander for a chance of Amari Hampton and Donovan Jackson. Donovan Jackson, guys, if you guys aren't familiar with him, he's a outside, inside offensive lineman. Donovan Jackson is sort of like the Joshua Ezeudu of this draft, if the Giants were to get him, but like the opposite, okay? Like the opposite. This guy is definitely a guard, just like Josh Ezeudu was, but he can play tackle. Think of him as a much better Josh Ezeudu. Josh Ezeudu probably shouldn't have been drafted in the third round. And for those of you guys that really hate Josh Ezeudu and think that he's the worst pick ever, he's not. He just never was able to play the position he was drafted to play, which was guard. He was always slotted to play tackle. But Donovan Jackson, you put him at the guard spot, he is a perfect scheme fit, right? He's a zone blocking tackle with great movement and can play tackle for you in a pinch. I would love Donovan Jackson on this team. He's probably after Amari and Hampton, as far as this top 30 list, in the second round, Donovan Jackson is probably 1 or 2 with Amari and Hampton and Donovan Jackson. Like, these guys are 1 and 2 in the second round for me. So I would love Donovan Jackson. I think he'd be a great addition to the team, and we could kind of wane off of Greg Van Roten, and he could be a little bit more of a swing guard, a mentor, a guy that is good depth, and I would love to bring Donovan Jackson to eventually start for the Giants at one of the guard spots. Obviously, probably right guard since John Runyon's on that left side. But Donovan Jackson is very familiar with just about every position on the offensive line. And then Marcus Bowe we talked about as well. Now, here are some other names that are not listed, and here's our confirmed list of prospects who were brought in as a part of the group that participated. So we got a running back out of Rutgers. This is Howard Cross. You guys know Howard Cross is a very familiar name. This is Howard Cross Jr., the son of the great tight end Howard Cross for the Giants, defensive lineman. I believe he's a D tackle or a big defensive end. I seen what he looks like, and he's huge. These other names I'm not really familiar with, to be honest with you. I don't really know of them, but I just know about these two. But I don't know about the rest of the guys. I think I'm just going to see. This is the Giants local pro day, so this is like sort of a local workout. I'm not sure if they're considered part of the top 30. I'm trying to see if there's any names in here that we did not talk about. So extremely excited about the Giants draft strategy. It really seems like they want to upgrade that running back position. Like now they want to upgrade the running back position with a better talent to Tyrone Tracy, not someone that's of equal or a little bit lesser value. And they want to make Tyrone Tracy like a complimentary back. It looks like they're doing a lot of work on quarterbacks as well, should they fall in love with one. I would assume on day 2, Shedeur Sanders is a day 1 prospect that they could consider. But they also brought in guys like Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter as well. So it's not set in stone what they want to do on day 1. Yeah, definitely defensive tackle, definitely running back. They didn't do any work on wide receivers at all. So we might not see too much wide receivers for the Giants, if at all. But they're going to get positions that they really need depth in, really need some starters in. So that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. What do you guys think about the Giants' top 30 visits? Is it indicative to you what they want to do in the draft, or are you still kind of not knowing at all, have any clue what they're going to do? Also, leave your thoughts about your favorite prospects that were mentioned here today, and also your favorite prospects you want the Giants to draft. And all that being said, I am Kid Blue, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Woo!